Hey everyone, welcome to the Growin Up Podcast. We're your hosts. My name is Amber,
And my name's Nevaeh.
and we are back at it again with another episode. If this is your first time here, we like to talk about everything and anything that has to do with growing up. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, stay tuned and join us for the conversation.
If you haven't listened to us before we start every podcast, we like to do a little segment where we talk about something that we learned over the past week or two. So let's go ahead and get started. Amber?
Yeah. So my learning session this week isn't completely learned, but I would say it's in learning. But I'm trying to learn how to take notes at work. So I've tried everything like over from the sun to the moon and back. I've tried like digital on my laptop.
Yeah.
I've tried taking notes like on a little notebook. I've tried sticky notes. I've like used all the different types of application on my laptop. But right now I'm on a journey of using a medium-sized notebook. So like 7.5 by 10 inches vibe. So not full notebook, but not like small journal notebook in between. So
Oh.
I'm saying that because again, I've tried like journal size and I don't know if I just don't like the aesthetic of like writing in journal notebooks. I don't know. Like if it's
Yeah.
not continuously written, just more for notes.
Yeah.
Um But so I'm trying to learn how to do that. And I'm also trying to like manage my to-do list on the notebook as well. So it's kind of like I'm trying to like split up the page, like draw a line, back to like Cornell notes style, but
Yeah.
trying to make like a professional one of that.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought about switching to a notebook more recently because I am currently right now like a sticky note kind of gal or like a medium size, like the ones with the lines and stuff like that. That's what I use right now. And I actually will keep them in a folder and I'll put them in my backpack. And then I just like will pull out all my sticky notes. And I was like, you know what? I
Yeah.
should really like go to like a notebook. And a medium sized notebook is exactly what I was thinking about. I think it just depends on when I find one. So I thought about going to the bookstore.
Yeah. I tried looking at the bookstore. I've been on this mission probably for like a couple months now, honestly. But I tried going to like Barnes and Noble and looking at theirs. But it just was like I don't really vibe with the hardcover for like work notes.
Yeah.
So I literally have
Yeah.
like a flimsy one.
Oh.
Yeah, for those who are audio listeners right now, I kind of just showed my notebook. It's like a leather binder, but it's not hardcover. It's like soft cover.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
That's
So
cool.
that's kind of the vibe I'm on. I just got it from Target, $10. So it was like it wasn't expensive for this attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
cool.
I'll
And you
keep you
can't
guys
like
updated.
rip it out too. So you got to keep it in there because of the spine.
Kinda. So I thought it was like you can't rip it out there, but this one has perforations.
Oh,
So like I can
that's
take
kind
them
of
out.
better.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like sometimes things get loose when you don't want them to, and then they fall out. So
That's
we'll see.
true.
We'll see.
That's true. Yeah, give us an update on the brand or whatever when you are halfway through. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, my turn. So if you are up to date in the world, I guess, you would know that the astronauts that were sent to space, I think it was like I can't remember 6-9 months ago, something like that. One of those
Yeah.
numbers. My dyslexia is kicking in, so 6 or 9, I can't remember. They were in space for a long time, so they went on a mission to go get them back. So I actually watched them send the space shuttle into outer space, and I also watched it get retrieved back and retrieve the astronauts off of the like the shuttle thingy when they come back. So I don't know. I thought that was really interesting for some reason. I know it's kind of controversial on some certain areas, but I think just like thinking about the science portion of it, just because, I like science and actually the physiology portion of it as well, just because if you don't know that, I studied exercise physiology in my master's program. So I learned a lot about like condition and how like environment impacts the physiology of your body and each different system. And there was like a lot of like comments in the like, okay, I watched the shuttle like go and come back on TikTok.
Oh my.
And so with that comes comments. But a lot of people were like really skeptical because when they first come out of the little pod that they're in, they immediately will bring them out and then put them on a gurney. And a lot of people were like, oh, like, you know, whatever, has their 2 cents and whatnot. So I started getting like a little bit into like, I guess, a couple of the like physiological changes that happen while they're in space, because, you know, obviously you can see a lot of the like muscle atrophy that comes with being in space. They say like you lose like, I think it's like 1 to 2% every like month you're there, and apparently this was like pretty up there. I think it's like the 10th, 11th or something like that longest stay. It's a pretty long stay, so that's a lot of muscle that's being lost. Also you have to think about the gravity and how there's like, you know, here on Earth there's gravity that keeps you down, that allows your muscles to actually work and do what they're supposed to do. But when you're in space, you're floating around. So they have like a lot of different regimens and whatnot that go into, you know, maintaining their health. But one thing that I learned specifically was the cardiovascular health. I did do a little bit of cardiovascular research when I was in my grad program, but I didn't really think about that portion of it because that isn't something you necessarily can see. But like blood flow, and like if your muscles aren't moving, you know, how does the like, is the blood moving good? Is it moving bad? But I just found out that the blood flow is easier because of the no gravity, which your heart doesn't have to work as hard to pump blood. And then so when they come back to Earth, that's like not the case. You know, you're have different.
Oh, so you could go into cardiac arrest?
I don't know about that, but I'm sure there's a lot of like, you know, your muscle weakness in your heart. You probably your heart has to work harder when you get back to Earth to do what it's supposed to do. But I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting. Obviously, there's like balance issues too. That's why they actually put them in a gurney as well, because they do have to do like a health check prior to it. There's a radiation impact of it. So being out in radiation, you know, increases your chances for cancer. Lots of things that go on. So if you're, I know a lot of like athletes take into fact like your physiological health, but it's always interesting to me because then you realize how an environment that you're in can not only impact you like psychologically, but also physically. So for all of my high altitude friends, I would definitely look into, you know, your physiology and like the benefits of being in high altitude or warmer weather or colder weather and like how that might impact your ability to do things. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. That's funny because for those of you who don't know, our younger brother moved in with me recently, and he was like slurping down water like crazy his first couple days, and I was like, God damn, like you are drinking a lot of water. And like a couple days later, he was like, I need chapstick and all these random things, and I was like, I totally forgot that he had been living in Minnesota for so long, and he had to get used to the elevation again. But
yeah,
sometimes that thing slips my mind. I'm like, oh, sorry. No wonder why you were slurping up.
Yeah. No, I agree because sometimes I don't realize like the impact it has on me when I go back to Arizona and, you know, the environment portion of it, because I live in North Kakalaki where we're literally right by the ocean, and like humidity, that's another thing. Like when I first started running here in the summer, I was like, God damn, like I am dying over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, fun facts.
Nice. That's cool. Random question, but why do you call it North Crackalacken all the time?
I don't know. Somebody said that to me one time, and then it kind of just stuck, and I was like, oh, that sounds better than North Carolina.
Oh my God, that's funny. Oh my gosh. Well, with that being said, humidity and going into summer, today's topic of choice is springtime.
Spring is here, and we're finally outside.
Yeah.
Well, I am at least.
Yeah. Well, okay. Speaking of bringing in spring, literally right when we were going to start recording this podcast, I left my like sliding door open to the patio, and a wasp came in. So I'm literally recording in a room with a wasp right now. So if you see me at any point run away or distracted, it's because the wasp is probably close to me,
That's
which I don't have an eye on right now.
I knew that spring was upon us when the wasp came. That like there's a wasp nest that they keep taking down and it comes back, like outside my apartment. And I knew we were close to spring when that guy came back, and he haunts the stairwell now. So
Oh my God.
yeah, and they've removed it like twice now,
That's crazy.
and he just keeps coming back.
That's a good thing because we literally have a tree right outside our balcony. So I should like
Look at it.
think about that. Yeah. I have not like my last apartment, for those of you guys who don't know, it was like one of those indoor apartment types. So this year's gonna be different because our door goes to the outside rather than to a hallway. So I gotta learn how to be an outdoor home person again.
That's funny. You know when I don't think I talked about this on the podcast, but I think it was last spring there was a bird that laid eggs on my door reef outside my apartment. And every single time I see a bird come near my house, I'm like, turn your butt around. You're not building. I'm not trying to take care of no baby birds again, because that was tough. And that like literally added stress to my life when that happened. And while they were cute and I got to watch the journey, and I want to be a bird watcher, I didn't want to be that close to watching birds.
She didn't think they were cute at the moment.
They were scary. Like, and they were loud. Like, Mama Bird had to go get their breakfast in the morning. So then like when I would like wake up in the morning, the mom wasn't there. But then like on the weekends, like the mom would come back and feed them, and they're like crying. Like, I don't know. It was interesting. So if you've ever had a bird on your door reef or near your house, let me know if you dig them or not. Because I had to go on Reddit.
Yeah. Let me know because I'm a pro.
If you need any tips, let me know, because I did a lot of research, and it was funny because I looked on Reddit and I found a whole community there. And
oh my God.
Yeah, who knows? The birds came to me. Apparently it's good luck though.
I could see that.
Yeah, because it's like, why do they choose my door?
True. I mean, it's luck. I don't know if it's good. Depends.
True.
I'm kidding. So yeah, I guess that's how you can tell it's spring. I think my thing with spring is when I'm able to wear shorts.
That's funny. Same. Like when I get up in the morning and I'm like, I can wear shorts, and just a hoodie and a short.
Yep. That's been the vibe walking the dogs lately.
Yeah. No, it's been fun. And also for you now live in a state where daylight savings takes place. So you get the whole like longer day effect, which, is always fun.
Yeah.
That was a big surprise to me when I first moved to Minnesota, because if you've never been to Minnesota, when I first moved there, it was like midsummer, or not midsummer, maybe like June, middle June. But I got there and the sun was setting at like 10 p.m. And I was like, what the heck? Like, why is the sun setting at 10 p.m.? And that always just like surprises me. But I honestly love it though, because it gives obviously me a little bit more energy to be outside.
Yeah. I remember when we were younger, the way that I could tell that spring was coming was when our mom would start like worrying about her grass, like start reseeding. And she's like, go out there and water the grass when the sun comes and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's my memory of how I knew summer was coming.
Yeah. No, we definitely grew up having as lawn caretakers. Our mom was very passionate about her lawn, which honestly I'm very glad that was the case, because I can't imagine myself not having grass once I own like a house, or like, even now, like I just see kind of the importance of it. Yeah. So
do you watch a lawn mowing TikTok?
Oh, I'm crying. Yeah. You know what I also really like too on TikTok is the like lawn care stuff. When they're like, can I mow your lawn for free? She's like, what?
Yeah.
Or they like clean the sidewalk. Yeah. And they're like,
yeah. It really shows you though, like you said, how important it is to take care of your yard.
Yeah. And what a maintenance it is as well. Like, I get why our mom gave us the chore to water the grass and mow the lawn, because like imagine what it would have looked like had we
Yeah.
not mowed the lawn or watered it.
That's funny. Yeah, any other like memorable things? Spring break. I haven't had a spring break in forever because I don't know. I just feel like spring break never really existed since high school for me.
Yeah, you did have an interesting journey. So last year, a couple of my friends and we did like an impromptu spring break. So like I was actually in school at the time. So like I was actually on spring break, I guess. But my friends traveled here, and I live 2 hours from the beach. So we had like a little plan to go to the beach, hang out, reconnect. But I would say that was probably one of the bigger spring breaks that I did, as far as like, beach, like, kind of more like summerish activities. I think I've gone to like Chicago before. I don't know. It's probably been like other states, but that was like the actual first like spring break, going hard, having fun kind of vibes that I've had. But now that I'm a working woman, it was my first non-spring break year.
That's
still got to
funny.
go to work.
No.
Unfortunately.
Oh.
Unfortunately. So maybe we're not outside this spring.
True. No, I mean, but still I do start to get out more, like longer walks with the dogs where it's not freezing all the time. You can like soak up the sun.
Yeah.
You can actually sit down and like just chill in the sun.
That's funny that you say that, because I was asking AJ, I was like, has Scrums sunbathed with you yet on her walk? Which Scrums is my dog, for those of you who don't know. I was like, has Scrums like sunbathed with you? He's like, yeah. And I was like, that's how you know it's getting warm outside, when Scrums starts sunbathing. She just like plops down and is like enjoying the sun. And I'm like, okay, Tucsonian.
Oh.
No, but I don't, as far as like spring break from like when I was like in high school, I don't like remember anything specific being done, or like, like those actual years, which maybe I did do something, but I feel like I just spent it at home.
Yeah, I think my spring breaks when I was younger was always just going to Phoenix. Like it was just hanging out in Phoenix for the week with some family member, or
that's true.
Mom's friends and stuff like that. Yeah, but you're right. I don't think we ever had really like family trips or things like that. It was just staying home.
Yeah.
My senior year in high school, I did plan a senior trip, spring break trip. That was fun. We went to Lake Powell for like a couple days with a bunch of my friends. That was probably like literally the most spring break thing I've ever done in my life. That was fun. And then not last year, but a couple years ago, we spent your spring break with you, your first one there, I believe. We went to the football game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That was your spring break, I think. Wasn't it? No, that was October, because that was football.
Yeah. I don't know.
Never mind. No, I haven't had a spring break.
No, spring break was to Minnesota, and that's when you brought Scrums, no? Was that spring break? See, I think this just goes to prove that spring break's a little bit of an iffy time, but I feel like definitely the warmer weather time has been a big, portion of us getting our lives back. And I also, again, like, I know we're all about these, like, taking all these moments to like reset and stuff like that. But I feel like when the weather gets warmer, things just get better, and I didn't realize that also until like the effect that weather had on me until I lived in Minnesota, and I was like going to class and it was dark, and then coming out of class and it was still dark, because like the sun didn't rise until like 9 a.m. and then it was set at like 4:30 p.m. So I was like missing out on the whole daylight. And I honestly, when I lived in Minnesota, I did not go outside as much as I probably do here. Obviously, probably because I'm a college student, but like also like I feel like the weather had to do a lot with it. But being here, I definitely I was telling Amber this earlier today. I was like, dang, I was like, they just sent out the pool rules again for my pool here. I was like, I'm gonna be the first one in there today, but too bad. Too bad. Had to record
right
podcast.
man.
Yeah,
That's
but
funny.
we use our pool a lot. I feel like we used like last year, like I was out at the pool. I don't know. I'm lucky I have a husband that loves to come swimming with me, so I'm like gonna get my fishy moment in. So when
Yeah.
I am in the pool and in the sun, y'all will know first thing for those of you who watch YouTube.
Yeah, you were definitely a fish in your life before this.
True. What are like
um
fun things that you do? Like I go swimming. I like to go fishing with my husband. I started a garden last year. I might try again. But anything that you do that's like you're excited to do now that the
yeah.
weather's getting warmer?
Well, it's funny because I've tried the garden thing. I've tried gardening, but it was in Phoenix. And for those of you who live in Phoenix, you know that spring like literally is a day. So I gardened and everything sprouted and it looked great. Then it got too hot and then everything
Dead.
died. Yeah, everything got died.
Cooked.
Yeah, so that was my gardening career. But a big thing would definitely be baseball. Me and my girlfriend have gone to like spring training games, and then obviously baseball is going to be starting up soon, like the regular season. So I'm really excited for that. That's kind of I like baseball. I like going to baseball games. The dog walks more like just being outside with them a little bit more is coming. Basketball, that's been a thing that we've been doing like once it starts to get hot. I think it's that like you were saying during the winter we get in a sense depressed or like
Yeah.
it's just not
Seasonal
that. So then
depression. Yeah, no, it's a
yeah
thing.
so once it starts warming up, we're like, hey, you want to go play basketball? That's kind of our way of hanging out together, just going to play basketball. And then once it gets too hot, we stop. um yeah, but we live close to a rec center now, so I'm hoping like we can go in there for the basketball gym or the basketball courts.
I wonder if they have outside courts and indoor courts.
They do.
Oh, perfect.
Well, there's a big like park. But yeah, so I mean those are kind of things that I do in the spring. I also like spring cleaning. That is my shit. Spring cleaning, and I like resetting. I think that's part of why I was looking for a notebook, was because I want to reset myself again.
She resets herself every like couple months, guys. If you haven't picked that up, she does.
No, I do. It's funny because I was looking at my goals that I set for the year, and quarter 3 for my goals is ending at the end of March. So I get to go back through my goals and like reset myself and reevaluate like where I'm at on each one, because I do it like quarterly with myself.
Oh,
so
you need to have a class on that.
Yeah. But I'm excited for that. Also, I think just like maybe thinking about some trips that may be happening in the next couple months, the warmer months. We're very like late planners when it comes to trips.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I need to get a little bit better and put that in the winter or something. But planning those trips, drives, I like road trips. So
yeah. Trip planning is hard, and I agree. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm like, oh, next year I'm going to XYZ,
yeah.
But this like past year was like the only actual time where I had trips planned, but like not because I planned them myself, but mainly just like opportunities that came up.
Yeah.
So little different. But I've done like trips in the past, so that have been planned. We've done trips in the past that have been planned, but I think it would be fun to do something like that, like something like a distant place that we both don't live in, or something like that. What would you choose if you had to choose today? And we were like, okay, we're planning a trip. Where are we going? Spring break.
Spring break, it'd probably be probably going down to South America, just because they're getting into their winter season. So like they're in fall right now, I guess you can say. So it'd be a good time to like not be there when it's so hot. Yeah, that's probably where I'd go. Also, of course, like the usual, the Europe.
No, yeah.
Were you talking about like far? Because that's where I would go.
Yeah, anything. I was trying
Yeah.
to, I don't know where I would go. I feel like I'd want to say like, well, it's in the same state as me. I would say Outer Banks.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not really a like beach laker kind of
Oh,
person. You know
yeah.
what I
Fun
mean? Like,
fact for you y'all, Amber does not like the beach. Well, she doesn't like
so
the beach. She
yeah.
likes the sand. She doesn't like the sand.
Is that why you were so disappointed? Because I'm not going to like a beach or anything for spring break. I'm like, I'll go to South America.
I know. I mean, that's cool too, I guess. But like, I don't know. Well, Outer Banks like is kind of like interesting because it's like more like swampy, I guess.
Yeah.
But I've
Like,
heard it's really beautiful, and obviously for the vibes. But Myrtle Beach, I would like to go also, which is kind of again near me. I wouldn't mind doing that as well. Long distance. There's not like a specific place like around springtime, but my dream trip is to go to Bali. But it's definitely something you have to save up for. But I think that would be cool. Little Indonesia trip.
yeah. I that's something you got to learn in itself is like how to plan trips.
Yeah, because it's a
Because
lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I honestly probably, if I had to plan a trip today, I probably would not be able to get there because I don't have a passport. So,
yeah.
first step,
And
passport.
well, yeah, well that was my goal like 2 years ago was like get a passport, and I got the passport and then I never went anywhere. So like my passport is literally sitting brand new, not even broken the spine, just chilling. At
Yeah,
least I
but
can go to Canada.
going back to the like what we've done in the past though, it's really interesting to hear other families' trips as well. Cause like I had like a couple of patients and I was like, oh, like any spring break plans? And like they're like, oh, we go here every year, or like we do like our big family vacation during spring break. So if you guys have a like something you do during spring break with your family, I'd be interested to hear, because I feel like that's the goal for myself is, I would love to be able to give experiences to my children, or just like, a little bit of taste of like an actual break.
Taking a break literally.
Taking a break literally, what they, I'm sure it's probably intended for. But yeah, no, let us know what you do for your spring break, or what you did growing up as a child, or your favorite memory so far in life with spring break.
Yeah, it's funny. Okay, so sorry, this is gonna be a little bit of a sidetrack, but we use ChatGPT to help us with some of our planning. And one of the things that it brought up that I'm kind of laughing at right now is it says any cultural or family traditions during spring, and it has powwows on there.
I've seen that too. I've seen that as well. Did you tell it we were native? Or does it know we're native?
It knows we're native.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ew. No, it doesn't.
It keeps your previous chats in there, yeah.
Oh, you know what?
What?
I don't log in, that's why.
Oh my gosh. You are missing a lot of the capabilities.
So, like, if I tell it my job, will it remember that?
Yeah, because I literally just asked it, write new chat, and I said, give me some podcast ideas. And I said, for the Growin Up Podcast, some ideas are...
Wow. That's cool. Random. Off track, but that's cool.
Might not insert, but yeah, so powwows, anything like native related during this time of the year, spring dances.
Yeah, I know obviously we have like our different dances. We're gonna get into like our summer dances and whatnot, but I know like Carolina is having their powwow here this weekend, and I go every year, and this is gonna be the first year that I don't go. But those are always fun. I know a lot of colleges also have their powwows, but it's different, I think, along the board for each community and group. But no, I agree. I think as far as like those are something I'm trying to get to, but
yeah, I went to my first. I went to the Denver powwow for my first time.
Denver March powwow.
The March Denver powwow. Maybe that'll be my new sign that spring is coming once the March powwow comes around, because I'm like, spring is around the corner. It was so windy though, so it wasn't very springy.
Yeah, at least it's in the Coliseum.
That's valid. Um, yeah, but another thing with spring, I would say is definitely putting away my jackets. That's one of my favorite things is being able to push my jackets toward the back. Before we used to like zip airtight them and then put them away, but now it's just like pushing it toward the back and getting out some new summer clothes, different colors, even though I'm wearing black.
I know. I was going to say, you have colors?
Yeah, I do.
You have any floral designs in there?
I was gonna tell you we should have wore like springy
floral
vibes.
Designs?
Yeah,
That's funny. That's funny. I forgot. I don't know if I have any. How hating and not even have any.
That's fun. I also kind of just like to, this is kind of random, but thinking about things like car, because usually during the winter I tend to not like do much work on my vehicle because we're not driving that much, because of snow and stuff. So thinking about like this time I like went back to maintenance records and like, okay, what am I gonna have to do this summer and stuff like that.
Yeah. Or washing your car, because I feel like,
yeah.
well, I like, at least here in North Carolina, we get a lot of rain. Like, I thought it was like during a certain portion of the year, but I feel like it just rains all year round.
Yeah.
And so in the past, I think it's like a week or so, they were like released like a statement of like how much pollen, because if you've never been in North Carolina, you get so much pollen. Like, I'm telling you, like literally like an inch layer of pollen everywhere. So I got outside this morning and my car was a little cold and frosty, but underneath the frost was so much pollen.
Oh wow,
and
that's weird.
it was so weird. And anyways, but now the pollen's everywhere. It's getting everywhere. Literally, I touched my shoe on like something and there was pollen, yellow pollen there. And the first year we moved here, so another sign of spring is when you can open your windows, and like get some fresh air in.
And a wasp.
But no, so our first year when we moved here, I didn't know that the pollen like issue was like an issue. Like, like in Arizona, you hear about the pollen and then like, but you don't like physically see it. Well, anyways, we opened our window, we left them open. And the next day there was pollen all over our house. And
oh my God.
We had to mop everywhere and our mop turned yellow. Our couch was yellow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, there was pollen literally in our entire living room, and it didn't help because like our window was like on the like it didn't have anything to protect it. Like, it was just straight out to the open, so there wasn't like a building or like another apartment or nothing. So literally I like wiped my couch off and like with a napkin and it was yellow.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's so bad. So bad. But I'm learning now, don't open your windows for a long period of time because you will get pollen in your house. And I was so worried because I'm pretty sure like you and mom were coming and I was like, oh my gosh, mom's got allergies. So I was over there like scrubby-dub-dubbing.
Yeah, that's funny. On the bright side though, I don't know about you, but here, like with the snow during the winter, like dragging wet shoes and feet into a house and having to mop that, I'll take pollen over mopping every single week.
That's valid. That is valid. Especially if you have hardwood floor.
And dogs.
And dogs, yeah.
Also, a side note, we also literally just renewed our car wash membership. You said that at the very beginning of that, and I was thinking about that because during the winter we don't go that much, so it's not kind of worth it. But we just started it back up, so here's to that.
Yeah. When I moved here too, there was no car washes. So like in Minnesota, you had to like wash your car during the winter because of all the like salt from the icy roads and stuff like that, rusting and whatnot. So you got to take care of your car. And I was like going to car wash, like making use of my membership and stuff like that. And then I came here and you're telling me I have to drive 10 minutes to the nearest 15 minutes to the nearest car wash. So like I can see how my car has changed on the outside because of like location to a car wash. But I also kind of like with the pollen, like if you go through those things, like it doesn't do anything
Mhm.
because, you know, it's not like getting in deep. So you actually have to go in and scrub it yourself unless you want it to be still in your car for the rest of your entirety of living here.
That's crazy.
I have to insert picture one day or put it on our Instagram for a reference because I feel like I'm being very overdramatic right now, but I kid you not. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. The pollen exists, I guess.
The pollen exists. No, there was literally like a release. Like, I'm sure it's worse in like more like southern states, but obviously I live in the South, so apparently I'm involved in that as well.
It says pollen season in full swing one day ago.
Yep. It's in full swing, all right.
It's in full swing. Here are some pictures. Look. Does it really look like this?
Yes, it does. That's exactly what it looks like.
Interesting.
It's so bad. It is so bad. I probably could go out there right now and it's probably all over my car. And, you know, even the windshield wiper fluid, you put windshield wiper fluid on that thing and it's going to make it 10 times worse. It's just going to clump up and sit in the sides of your, oh my God.
Oh my God. Is this what it looks like?
I was going to say, I don't know. I am taking a flight tomorrow, so maybe I'll have to take a peek down and see if that's the case.
It looks like Fortnite.
It looks like a fart or something.
That's funny.
No, but that is those cars. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. So, which surprisingly though, like my allergies here are like non-existent, even with all those all that pollen outside. Like I have no allergies, but if I go back to Arizona during this time, I'd be dying, literally.
Better knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Oh my gosh, I'm going to Salt Lake City. Yeah, you're right.
That's funny. Well, you heard it here, folks. Pollen in the spring is in full effect.
That's funny. Yeah. So, I mean, love it, hate it. It's fine. I mean, I like this. I like the spring and fall for sure. Summer, midsummer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for summer. For some reason, like every year feels new to me. So like I know what to expect, but I don't know what to expect. So I'm like, oh, I'm so excited for summer. Like I wonder what it's gonna be like. But then summer hits and I'm like, oh my God, it's hot.
Aw, that's such a beautiful outlook on life, Amber.
Oh. It's like
every year's gonna get better. So much optimism in one sentence right there. You think that I don't know, Amber, there's this thing called like global warming, so I don't know if it's gonna get better.
That's yeah. Oh my God.
Amber's gonna be like, it's gonna be better next year. It's like 115 degrees out. Let's try again next year, guys.
Right.
120.
Okay. All right. Speaking of 120 degree weather, you know what else is better in the spring? Margaritas.
What? I was just saying that because she had her first margarita the other day in a long time.
Yeah, that was great. No, but like they do have summer drinks. Like you go to restaurants, you go to bars, they're like promoting their new hibiscus margarita or something, you know.
Chick-fil-A has a new lemonade.
Oh. Is it like because of spring?
I don't know, but it's like a hibiscus something.
Oh, is that how you say it? Hibiscus?
Hibiscus?
Did you just have to correct me politely?
No, I didn't even realize you said it wrong. I don't even know if that's how you say it in general. Maybe it's like
no,
the
I
same
think it
thing.
is.
Oh, okay. What'd you say?
Hibiscus.
Hibiscus. That's like kind of like caramel and caramel.
True. But you know, I distinctly remember this because a couple months ago, maybe like a month ago, we went to a coffee shop and I got a hibiscus tea and then
hibiscus.
The barista said it back to me. Oh, okay. One hibiscus. I was like, oh, yeah.
Embarrassing. amazing. No, that's true though, and that's a good point. Not even just like alcoholic beverages, but definitely the like tea. My husband is an avid sun tea maker. He
Yeah.
will go out there and make himself some sun tea. He literally takes that job so serious. He will, like, we don't have that much sun on our patio, trust me, but he is like moving every little. He is. He is.
That's a great idea, actually. We have some good sun over here.
Yeah, we had to get like a special jar for it. We didn't have like the OG pickle jar, you know, that, you know, we have like an actual fancy jar, which is a little controversial.
Oh my God. That's one thing that I do remember about growing up was sun tea.
Yeah.
That smacks so much.
It's so good. You know, I'm
Yes,
not complaining.
is.
It's so
Yep.
good. It is so good.
Also, for those of you who drink beer at the baseball game is a good spring thing.
I want to go to a baseball game soon. UNC's baseball game. I was like, yeah.
That's cool.
No, we'll touch base. I'll give you guys an update because we went to a UNC baseball game last year. No, not last year. Year before?
2 years ago. Yeah.
But no, we'll touch base though because that's like one thing that I like a little side goal while I'm here at UNC is to try to go to all of the sporting events that they have here. Obviously because we're known for our sports and whatnot. So that's like my big goal. I've already been to a baseball game, but obviously looking for more. A lacrosse game I've been wanting to go to and get into lacrosse. I've been to a couple of gymnastics meets before, which is always fun. Also, if you've never been to one, it's really interesting.
Interesting. It's very interesting.
No, it was.
What a good choice to describe it.
No, it was because again, fun fact about me, I did gymnastics when I was like little, so it was kind of nice to fulfill that little fantasy that I had of being a gymnast. And it was because I've never been to a gymnastics meet before, like an actual collegiate one, besides like watching like the Olympics and stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, those are a couple things. We've been to a softball game, which was fun. Yeah, so trying to hit all of the
sports. That's another way that actually I could tell that it was spring too, because we were driving down the road yesterday and I seen we live right by a high school. All the kids were outside again and everybody was running track and they were out on the fields, and I was like, "Oh, this is the first time I've seen kids outside."
That is cute.
Yeah.
I don't even remember those times.
Yeah. I'm excited though because we literally like live across the street from a high school kind of, which hopefully in the next year I'll be able to go watch games, you know, just even if it's just walking by and watching it for a couple seconds. But
little supporter,
yeah.
Neighborhood supporter.
Yeah. Just something to do. I think sports is a big thing. All the sports kind of the random things go on. Basketball at this time, actually, like going to games, and baseball starts and
March Madness.
Yeah.
Festivals are in season right now. I've never been to a festival, so
me neither.
Maybe one day y'all see us pop out at like Coachella or something.
I was just watching a podcast today and they were saying that Coachella is like where influencers like go just to prove that they
made
it. An influencer. Yeah.
That's how y'all will know we made it, is when we're at Coachella. And
I don't know. Like, the conditions of Coachella are just, I don't know.
You're right. No, you're right. I think there's definitely other festivals I would go to besides Coachella, but I feel like it's just like, you know, I made it. I agree. That's maybe it's the Gen Zer in me, but I just want to say, Mama, I made it. And I'm like at Coachella, you know, picking out my outfits.
Funny. Yeah, that's valid. Coachella.
Yeah. Good.
You know, another big thing about spring is when you're able to go and eat outside again, like when you go to restaurants and you can sit outside.
That's always
I wanted
fun.
to do that yesterday, but it was windy. It's been windy here, which is not fun when you're expecting the spring.
Yeah. You know, when summer comes around, I tend to like question my fashion because like it kind of gets to that point when like warmer weather, you have to figure out what to wear, and like the trends, and like they were like jean shorts are not a thing, and I was like, who's gonna tell me if I can wear jean shorts or not? Because like, what else are you supposed to wear? Like, literally, what else are you supposed to wear if it's 98 degrees outside with like humidity and it's like 110? Like, what am I supposed to wear during the summer? But even with
Yeah.
work too, like thinking about like what I should wear to work, and that I'm not gonna like die in.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That's something
stressful.
it is stressful. And I've learned that because random thing. But the other day, I really wanted to wear like this flannel shirt because it was cold. But I'm like, but it's not fall and it's not winter anymore. Like, I can't wear that, even though the weather is technically okay for it. But like, fashion wise, like, it didn't make sense. Um,
Yeah, because I
so yeah,
carried
you think of those things.
yeah, because I carried my like it was cold the other morning, like in the morning, so I was like, I don't know what other jacket to bring. So
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, like I could bring this, but I'm still gonna freeze my ass if I
Yeah.
take this little jacket. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm gonna bring my big puffer. And then I was carrying that thing back back to my car with me, dying of heat as my arm is like literally sweating. And I'm like, you know what? I can't win. I'm either gonna be freezing or I'm either gonna be hot as hell.
Yeah. No, that's me. Literally last week I was in a North Face like puffer, like bulked up out there. And then by the midday I was like out in shorts. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that I am kind of excited though to like see how at least this year plays out as far as like spring, because again, I'm not in school this time around, so like I don't have to worry about like finals or like anything of those terms. And then this will be my first
Yeah.
summer working, and it was funny because my friend brought brought it up. She was like, you know what sucks about being a full-time worker and not a student anymore? She's like, I can't go to the pool just on a random Tuesday morning, like because I'll be at
Yeah.
work, and now I am restrained to only the weekends when it's probably going to be busy out,
Hmm.
and everybody and their mama's going to be in that pool. So like, that's kind of sad. That made me kind of sad. I was like, dang, like I'm not gonna have a
But
summer.
now, oh my gosh. Well, now you have the luxury of taking days off during the week, you know?
I haven't gotten to that point yet. We're rolling a little too fast
What do you
now.
mean? You can take a day off here and there for your own. Like, you know what's the nicest thing that I'm learning in this past 12 months is that I can take a day off for no reason. Like, no reason at all. I'm just feeling like I need to take Monday off, need a long weekend. Like, I'm going to take it off.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the point yet. I'll let you know when I take my first day off sporadically.
All right. I want to
Maybe
know.
I'll challenge myself to that little mental
Yeah.
health
And then go
day.
swimming, you know?
True, a good tan. I'm like, I'm sick. I'll tan.
Yeah. You did that. No, that's the point of being a big girl with a job. You don't have to to take a day
Oh.
off. Just let them know you're not going to work.
Okay, good point, Amber. Good point. I will remember that. I'll let y'all know if I ever do that.
That is so crazy.
I'm crying. That's hilarious.
Um,
That's hilarious. Well,
yeah,
that does bring a good question, though, of like, how do you find ways to break your routine as an adult when you don't have these like things like spring break implemented for you in your like schedule,
yeah,
because that I feel like that could be very hard, like myself, to navigate, like designating those times to where like you deserve a break, or like you deserve to kind of take a step back from your normal routine.
yeah.
So I feel like
Or
that's
even
always
need
a
it.
good question, or a good conversation starter too, like how do you have breaks from work, or like and
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure it's probably easier with kids too, though. Like, when you have kids and
yeah.
then they're like on spring breaks, so you're like, okay, well, I might as well take spring break off.
But you know, my favorite thing about spring
What?
is that it's almost summer. And I think just like, I don't know, like, although, yes, we have to work during the week, there is no summer break. Yes, that's a problem. But there's more things that go on, like park events and, like you said, festivals and
Mm-hmm.
just those random things that go on throughout your city. They usually obviously have more of those during the summer. So that's one thing that I really like about summer and just, I guess, spring in general, is that you get to start planning those kind of things.
Hmm.
Like there's a dragon boat festival that goes on right down the street. Like we've been going every year since we've been here, and always go there for food and just to watch the dragon boats rowing.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
I'll
maybe
look
you should
for
look
one.
into
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe I'll see if we have a dragon boat festival. Because that definitely beats, honestly, like I like fishing, but when we get into fishing, specifically my husband, he's on a roll. And then we're fishing like every other day, every other
Okay.
weekend. No, we
She's just as
were.
excited to be out there.
I know, but sometimes I get a little bit like hot out there and like we never catch any. Well, we haven't caught anything good here. So it's definitely been harder. And then we're also trying to navigate our dogs because like, it's always something eventful when you bring your dogs, let alone two dogs, let alone a big dog and a small dog.
Yeah, that's valid.
So
Well,
I do want to get them like a little bit more out more and stuff like that.
yeah.
So that's our goal, at least this with the coming weather and stuff like that, is to like go hiking more and take those opportunities, which are a learning opportunity for me, but also for my doggies.
Yeah, for sure. Um, dogs in the summer.
I know, so dramatic. They have fur and everything. Why are you panting all over me? Why you need
Right.
any more water?
That's funny. What about like any like fitness goals? Because you know how they have summer bods and
Oh yeah,
stuff
no, for
like that.
sure.
Like, is that like a big part of your year? Like, do you?
Well, I prefer to go running during. I know this sounds freaking crazy. Maybe it's because I'm a Arizonian, but I like the warm weather when I go running, and um, I think that's always fun, especially like when you find the perfect time as well, like which is like morning time here with the more daylight. You kind of find like a cooler temp where like you're not completely dying. But I do like a good sweat on a run though. I feel like that's something that I enjoy as far as like running. Um Obviously the pool, like call me crazy and call me a little fishy if you want, but a good couple laps at the pool, come on now. That's pretty fun. But otherwise, obviously always getting outdoors more, I think is the ultimate goal, and
Yeah.
finding something to do. I love like last, I think a couple of years ago, we got really into tennis with our old roommate, my friend Sam, and we were playing like tennis like every other day because like the sun wasn't going down, so like we could go play night tennis like right now and like it'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So that was always fun. I do like, again, I am like, we do basketball, but like again, it's so hard to find like a nice green space that works for us where there's a basketball court. We do want to get more into doing baseball and like just going to go hit around, throw the ball around. I feel like that was also something like, while we watched a lot of baseball, we also played a lot of baseball growing up, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And not even to the extent of like an actual game, but like we would just like go to the park and throw the ball around. So I want to do that this summer. But definitely, yeah, just getting more outdoors more and, trying to be the best that I can with the positive mindset that I
Vibes.
tend to have during the warmer weather with the sun is out versus like little
Yeah.
snailed up Nevaeh in bed. Like, what is
Snailed up.
life?
um. Okay. To close it out, what is one goal you have
You
for?
didn't even
How is?
answer. You didn't even answer your own question.
What was the question?
Any fitness goals? Summer
Oh,
bod?
summer bod. Kinda. I mean, this year it's. I don't really have a lot of goals because medical things, but um yeah, I don't know. I don't really like focus on that. I'm more of a New Year's and then continue it on.
Habit builder.
Yeah, habit builder. By the summer, it's just, routine. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No, but I do like challenge myself to get out more and for longer, like doing long walks, 45-minute walks and longer, because that's just getting outdoors, sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So, okay, let's do one question to close it out. How long is spring though? Because I feel like spring is literally like a day sometimes. How long is spring?
I
Do you
would
know?
say like March to April, end of April. Maybe even
March
into
through
May.
May.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe
March
even like
1st through May 31st.
yeah. Okay, that
Wow.
checks out.
That's a
Because
long
it is
time.
hot during June and July.
Huh. Okay, so what's some of your like goals by May 31st?
Oh, that's a good one. I am preparing to take the MCAT, so I feel like that's also very restricting. But I think ultimately biggest goal is to find a balance of everything, because I tend to use that as an excuse a lot of the times of like, oh, like I ran out of daylight, I can't do this, or like I'm not
Yeah.
going to do this because it's already dark outside and I'm ready to go to bed. So I think definitely using the time that I have out like of daylight in a better manner that benefits
That's
myself.
that's a good goal. Using
Thank you.
daylight to your advantage.
Yep. Yep. And even
That's a
that
good
means
one.
I've been wanting to try to get into running before work, but I was like, oh,
Oh
it's so
yeah.
dark outside. Like I'm not gonna go outside. It's like pitch black outside. I could get like
Mhm.
snapped or something. Snatched, not snapped, snatch. No, but snatch. So I feel like now that we're getting daylight soon, like so I want to
Yeah.
definitely try that out as well.
Mhm.
Because it's definitely harder running after work. Like honestly, I'm not like an evening runner.
Mhm.
My body just doesn't like it. I'd rather do like a different form of cardio. I
Yeah.
don't know. My body,
Yeah, let me know how that goes because I'm a morning person for those who don't know. But it's so hard to do things in the morning because one, dogs, and two, my significant other like works early mornings. So like I have to walk the dogs and I have to make myself breakfast and I can never like squeeze in like going I would love to go to the gym in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely want to try it. Even if it is like starting with the gym sooner rather than later, because obviously I'm sure it's probably going to take time for the sun to completely like get to the point of like where I don't have to get ready for work and be somewhere at a certain
Mhm.
time. But no, that's definitely something I want to try and have been pondering about, because I feel
Mhm.
like it might fit better with like my body. And if I fall in love, then I fall in love.
Mhm. Hmm. You just maybe help me create a goal.
You're welcome.
um so my goal I never really thought of this, but I think one thing that I've kind of been working on since the whole dog walking thing is I really want to train my youngest dog a little bit more, like you said to go out to go places because the first time I took her fishing, she ate a bee.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
um,
yeah.
but no, just getting her like a little bit better, like leash trained and being around people and other dogs so that we can take her to more things like that. Just take her out and about more. So that's probably
Yeah.
one big goal that I want to have in these next couple months. And she's been really improving. So
Yeah.
we'll see
Because it is
how
really
she
an
gets.
art.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about like all the health, like their own health concerns too,
Yeah.
and like heat, how much it can
Mm-hmm.
take, pavement, are their
Yeah.
paws okay?
Yep.
Are they dying?
Yeah.
So that sounds like a good one too. Maybe we can put Carter and Danny on a regimen.
Yeah.
How many steps a day? How many sits per hour?
Yeah. No, it is an art.
Sorry for sure. Yeah, no.
um
Are you gonna garden? Okay, sorry. Are you gonna garden now that you have the little extra space?
no, but I'm gonna get plants.
Okay.
Um yeah, so we'll start back on square one because I haven't had plants in a while. I mean, I have a couple, but
You could
I
do
used to
like
be a
a
big
tomato
planter.
plant.
That's true. Yeah. I wish I could have a
I
chicken.
don't know how many tomatoes you got, or like how many tomatoes you eat, but
I know. That's kind of funny because I don't even eat tomatoes. Maybe I'll do like a
strawberry.
yeah.
Cilantro's easy.
But they
easy
take
to grow.
forever.
They do take forever. Cilantro's easy. Maybe you should do like herbs.
That's true.
I did it from seeds, and it was pretty easy.
Good to know. Cool. Well, here's the spring, and what is it? April showers brings me flowers. I hope you guys are watering yourself and growing before the summer.
That was cute.
Go ahead.
Again, if you haven't already, we'd love to hear your spring traditions, what you're excited about with the warmer weather coming out. Any plans for your spring break or any summer plans that you would like to share with us, and any goals that you're kind of setting now that the weather's getting warmer and we can't really use that as an excuse anymore. We'd love to hear it, so feel free to drop a comment down below, and if you're not subscribed to us, please subscribe, turn on your post notifications down below, so that way you get notified whenever we post a new episode. We are now streaming on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, which is linked down below as well. So if you're on the go, or if you're getting up and running in the morning with me, you can listen to us on your nice little jog, or if you're walking your dogs, keep one out because you never know what's going to happen. And and follow us on Instagram or follow us on Facebook to kind of stay up to date with any sort of announcements or release of new episodes, and hopefully we can get a little bit more active on there now as well.
Even though we keep saying that.
Accountability. Keep me accountable.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for this conversation. I'm going to go find the wasp now.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll see y'all in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.